Sorry guys. Might be another year older, but I'm no more organised than I was a year ago. Okay, welcome back. We're just brutal over here in Australia at the moment with this weather, guys. It's just so hot. Just getting no respite. Okay, today's theme, we're over with the cows today. A lot going on in the practice range. People on holidays are guests and all out. Okay guys, now I want to go through the commitment and the diligence level requirement for your protocols. Now, I put a post reply up today to Matt Gray, who's one of our instructors in Tennessee. Bill Phillips is offsider, and Matt's an extremely accomplished player. Extremely accomplished player. And Matt said that he wants to now refine his protocol application. And how do I do it? What do I do? Okay guys, now my protocol application is very, very similar to the launching protocol and sequencing and requirement of a NASA rocket. You know, when they're in there and they've got everything going and the rocket's sitting there. Now the rocket ain't going anywhere until those guys push that sequencing button, the launch sequencing button. And what's happening with that sequencing, as it's counting down from the 10 down to the 9, all the indicators on the board are flashing up to say, yep, okay, we've gone through this sequence requirement, that sequence requirement, that sequence requirement. And the rocket will not launch, guys, unless that sequence is adhered to sequentially and correctly. It has to go through that protocol of application. Now, we've seen launches in the past that have been down to within 30 seconds of countdown and they've aborted it because the launching sequence was out of sequence, or what was required in the launching sequence wasn't there. Now, as an analogy, that's what I use when I apply my what I call ignition sequence for my protocol. And my protocol, guys, is the number of things I have to set my golf swing in motion for the backswing. And it has to be the same things, the same protocols in sequence every time. This is the diligence, this is the application. And I will not start that. I won't push the button to launch until I've gone through the sequence. If the sequence is not there and I haven't gone through it and I'm not happy with it, I won't start the swing. Now, I do everything quite quickly, but that's because I'm starting my sequence before I get over the ball. By the time I get over the ball, I'm probably into, two, and maybe sometimes 3 before I get here. And then I've only got to go basically 3, 4, 5, or whatever it is, and whatever your number is. But guys, the diligence required to do this is the secret of channel lock. The protocol application is absolutely vital, and you must do it in the correct sequence every time. Otherwise, you will not get the same result every time. That is the reality of applying this protocol. It sounds simplistic, but it's not. It takes a lot of requirement, a lot of commitment, a lot of diligence, huge amount. Now, the point that I made to Matt Gray today was that once we're into our countdown sequencing here and our launch sequencing and our ignition sequence, there can be no thought of the result of the targeting or where the ball's going to go. We can't be thinking about that while we're getting into our launch sequence. All that should have been done before you get into that address, stance, launch sequencing part of or phasing of the golf swing. All that end result there and the targeting has got to be done before you get in there, guys. Now, and clearly, when you're playing a shot in a golf course, you're not going to be like I am here in front of a camera, just pull a golf ball across. We'll be pulling a club out of the bag, assessing the situation, working out what our alignment's going to be, got the club, the distance, worked out the conditions, Okay, I've got the alignment. Now I'm going through. I know exactly where I'm going to hit it. There's a big out of bounds fence right there. Big pile of trees up here. And there's about a 15-yard corridor between them. I'm just going to hit this shot up there in that corridor, at the length of that where those trees are. And this is 5-iron. Those trees are at about 170 metres, and that's where I'm going. But I've already seen that. I know what the requirement of the shot is. Now all I'm doing here now, guys, is getting that requirement underway. I'm not thinking about where the ball's going or where I'm aiming. I've taken care of that before I start the sequence. I'm in here, I've got the alignment here, and I've started the sequence here. First shot of the day. That pile up there's about 175. That's just taking pictures of it as it went by. And it happens sometimes, guys, with some of these range balls, because I know a lot of the range balls that the manufacturers have are overruns from other manufacturers. And they could be all types of compressions, all types of things. And we've found that. We've put these on compression testers and we've had a look at dimple patterns. You see a dimple pattern, you think, wow, what's that? That's a max fly or whatever. Now that ball just took off like a rocket. And that's just really gone. That's fairly low spin, hard ball. But I knew where that was going to go before I hit it, because I'd already assessed and put in place my my targeting. Now I'll do it again. I'll aim a little bit further. I'll aim at the tree here. But I'm seeing that target there. Seeing it, that's all done. That's all done. Now I'm going through the staging sequence. Foot's up a little bit. That's a great shot. Great shot for me. The reason that foot's up there, guys, is because these are early swings. No warm-up, no stretching, nothing. I don't do any stretching. Even when I train, I never stretch. And there used to be a great Olympic, and I'll digress here, but it's a good story. There used to be a great Olympic running coach out here, a guy called Percy Cerity. And he was crazy. He was like, even when he was 80, nobody could keep up with him. He was just unbelievable. And none of his athletes, he wouldn't let any of his athletes warm up before they train. And he used to say to them, and he was very demonstrative, and he said, have you ever seen a cheetah warm up before it chases an antelope? If you did, that cheetah would be having nothing for dinner, because the antelope would be gone while he was warming up. He said, you don't stretch, you just chase the antelope. And that's what I did there, guys. I just chased the antelope. But because I'm not quite as stretched as I need to be, hip extensors are a little tight, so that trail foot came up a little. But nothing wrong with that. And someone mentioned, and I haven't replied to the post, someone said that Mr. X, when Mr. X hits it, he releases his trail foot. Well, he doesn't all the time, but sometimes he does. But Mr. X does that. Mr. X is, he's got a little bit more drive out of his lower body than I do. He's got a much steeper shoulder pitch than I do. So he's going to be going down like that with the shoulder, and that's going to force that trail hip up a little bit. Whereas I don't. I come in very radially with my shoulder. My shoulder's actually quite shallow, and it tends to just pick the heel up a little bit. But guys, you can have the heel up a little bit. Doesn't matter. I don't want to have it up, but that's just a digression. So Mr. X is different. Yeah, he does lift it, and I do advocate keeping it down. If you can keep it down, it's better. Now Mr. X, there are occasions when Mr. X does this, where he gets his, what we call the ass to the grass. He tries to get his butt on the ground here, and he hits shots like this, and he just kills it, because he's really got the kangaroo sit down. And I say to him, wouldn't you like to hit the ball like that all the time? He said, yeah, but I'd be embarrassed on the golf course looking like that. Everyone's got a golfing ego, but he can hit it fantastic when he does that, amazingly so. All right, now I've already seen and I take my grip in my lead hand, guys, so that's all being done. All the grip is accounted for. You never want to get over the golf ball and then go into a grip configuration, ever. Never do that. No fingering the club. Mine's already done. Get it in here and it's done. I might just have a little bit here, but for all intents and purposes, it's set. You watch Adam Scott. He's the best in the business. This is Adam. The left hand here. and he brings the club across and puts the trail hand on. Bob Tway used to do it. Bob Tway, who beat Greg Norman in the US Open. This was Bob Tway. I mean, that's a bit extreme, but that was Bob. Bob would bring it across here, put it on there, and then it was dead square. Nothing wrong with that. I don't do that. I like to keep the hands down. I like to keep the hands down because I like to have them pressured down. So I've seen where I want to hit it there. Okay, try and hit it between those two branches there, JH. Here we go. In here, into the countdown sequence. They are they're VGS's, very good shots. They're really good shots. For me. Everything I relate to, guys, for JH. It's not Jason Day good and it's not Adam Scott good. Occasionally I might get one that's as good, but not at their level. When I was doing Mo Norman, guys, I could hit some shots that would have the same ball flight as Mo Norman's. Occasionally. Couldn't hit him every shot like he did. Occasionally I would hit one, so we can all do it on occasions. And I wish the cows had come here and chew this grass down. It's quite windy, guys, quite windy. Alright, now from now on, what you're going to see me in the videos now, because I've got my protocol and I've got all my mechanics down pat, I'm now going to start hitting them, the shots at playing velocity. The shots you'll see me hit from now on are going to be playing velocity. So they're going to be my, what we call in Australia, my full Monty. I'm going to give it the old welly, the old Wellington boot. Going to give it a twist. Or as Craig Guthrie would say when I used to do some of these slap release, I'm just going to smash it. I'm not going to try and overhit it, but I'm not going to leave anything in reserve. Nothing. So the shots now will all be nice full shoulder turn. So here we are. We've got all the targeting done. Come in here, the countdown sequence is on. Wow! That guy that hates to hear that must be downwind here a little bit. There it is. It's coming across here. I mean, that's just, the tree's not in play, guys. It's just, I thought it might have been the ball. It's just a little bit downwind. Well, it's a crosshead, down crosshead. But that guy that hates to hit me saying, wow, he likened me to my old mate from Denver, Jack Kapow. Wow, wham. Jack Ham, he was fantastic. 162 mile an hour clubhead speed, guys. He hit an 8-iron past my driver one day. I hit a 266 yards and he hit a 268 with an 8-iron. How about that? That was back about 1990, I think. A long time ago. 268 yards, 266, 268, 270 yards back in those days were long drives. They were good. Jack used to hit it about 380. I think his record's 463 or something, carry in Denver. Okay, it's pretty high in Denver. Okay, here we go. We've got the targeting. A little bit of blah, blah, blah there, guys. And I know that people hate that too. Here we go. Watch this. Watch the shoulder turn. Now that's interesting. There's, you know, when we were talking about kangaroos, guys. Just as there's a kangaroo right over there. Oh, it's just hopping off now. But just as I was getting over that ball, I saw that kangaroo and I was thinking, wow, if I can grab the camera and turn it around, get the kangaroo on camera. And you know what that did? It took me out of my sequence. And I lost my fullness of my sequence setting up. Still hit it good, but I felt that there was something out of it and I didn't complete my turn as I should have. Yeah, he's just bounded off over there. Okay, here we go. Targeting's done. God, foot's almost down there. Wow. How hard am I hitting that? About 90% of how I would want to hit it on the golf course. I'll ramp this up to 100%. This is 100% of my full swing, which I normally don't do on camera. I only hit about 80. So I'm going to ramp this up, full shot. I want to carry this 5-iron about 175 metres. If I nuke it, it'd be 180. Okay, come on, Jack. Full shoulder, Jack. Well, my pre-shot's done, guys. It's done before I take it back. Kangaroo, gunslinger. Keeping the foot down. All right, now I'm going to work on the tempo. Tempo's going to be the it's going to be the swing thought here. Why I put the camera here is beyond belief. I thought it was going to rain, guys. There was a storm coming up, so that's why I raced in here. Okay, watch this for a full turn. Kangaroo. Okay, Jade, you can do better than that. Hip lock. Just for, I don't think you'll see the ball flight, but just to show you what the swing looks like from behind, just hit a couple down here. Some reason or other, guys, I've just never been able to get the ball on in flight here. I don't know what it is. See, guys, they don't move. Come on, JH, give this a little bit of a twist. Have a look at that, boys. Woo! Is that going? And you can see those, but the wind's actually coming this way. Their 5-irons going down 190 carry, but it's a little bit downwind. I'm no powerhouse, but 78 this year, guys, coming up. Well, not for a fair while, but come on, Jade, give it a twist. Give it a twist. Kangaroo. If you can see that, guys, but for anybody who says they can't see the ball flight, I mean, that's just perfect ball flight. I mean, dead straight. Oh, another thing, guys. Someone asked for a definition of the gunslinger. What is a gunslinger? The gunslinger is the way I set up with my trail arm. Here, if I was a gunslinger. Here. I get my trail arm in here. Most people, when they set up, they have their arm extended. You can do that. I just find that when I'm in here, it's easy to get the club in the channel early. So I'm here, I'm the gunslinger. I try and have my arm resting on my side. That's what the gunslinger is. It's a look of a gunslinger. I'll do a real exaggerated gunslinger. Kangaroo. I don't like hitting downwind. Well, it's not down, it's across, but it just takes... you never learn anything from a downwind shot, ever. Because it just takes all the... if there's any incorrectness in the shot, it takes it off. Okay, come on. Full Monty. Okay, tempo. One thing that's out of my protocol today is tempo. Everything else was in, but tempo was out. Put tempo back in, JH. Put tempo back in. Okay, tempo. Aim's done. Gunslinger. Put it all back in and you get all that. It's got to be there. I've got about five, six parts in my protocol, and the last one should be tempo for me. Really important. The last one is tempo. Ooh, that was sweet. Sweet as. Absolutely centering them today. Come on, tempo, tempo, tempo. Aim is done. Aim is done. For you, Matty, aim's done. Now I'm into the ignition phase. Best shot I've had since I've been on channel lock. It's going to drive that guy crazy. He probably has the knife there and just goes whoosh, whoosh, cuts the wrists. I shouldn't do that, should I? It's a little childish, a little immature. That's a great shot. I can't hit it better than that. I cannot hit the ball better than that. But I'm not a serious golfer. If you watch that guy that's been posting, says that nobody would ever take this up that wanted to play serious golf or want to improve their golf. He says just ridiculous. Well, he's ridiculous. What a stupid thing to say. Matt Gray goes out and shoots 62. Mr. X is hitting 14 greens, average, and round of golf. Yeah. Other people, another guy the other day had 7 birdies in a row. Yeah, we're not serious golfers. We're not serious golfers. I don't know how people can make those sort of comments. I don't know why I get involved in it. Watch this guy. I never want to hit it better than that ever in my life. That's it. That's game, set and match. Prosecution rests, Your Honour. That's the golf swing. That's 100%, but it probably looks like it's 80% or 60%. That's just hammer time, but we're not trying to hammer it. That's just concentrating on tempo. Concentrating on tempo. Here we go. Tempo only. Guys, that's got to look different. Wow. Got to keep hitting. People say, why do you hit so many balls, JH? Because I'm enjoying myself. It's my camera. My practice tee. That's why I do it. Come on, JH. So if you hit a 200. 200 carry. Mo Norman used to say, 5 iron, 240, 240. He never did, but he would say that. 240. Well, that's not 240, but it's about 210. Oh, gee, that's long. A little bit of wind downwind. Guys, I'm strong enough to hit it. I just normally don't try and hit my irons hard, and I don't try and have a big swing. But that's a big swing for me, and that's a big distance for me. That's very long for me. So I'm about a 170, 175 5 iron carry meters. Can hit it 185, 190. That one was about, that was miles. Watch this for a turn. Yeah, so for that guy that said to Mr. X is doing something different to what I'm advocating, here's a little bit, but he's got all the other good things in there. And we'll all do something different, guys. We'll all do something different on occasions. Come on, last shot, Jade. Come on. Mr. X is here and he wants to show you how he's killing it. Targeting is done, Matty. In here now, I see it, I feel it. Ignition, countdown. Wow. Getting some sweetness in the hit. That was just a little push. So I push. Out of bounds fence is only about 15 yards there. I pushed that, it's dropped inside the out of bounds fence, so I pushed that about 8-10 metres. But that's only because I've got no spikes on, guys. And I like to practice with no spikes on because I have to push my feet down. I've got to do that. If I don't do that, I lose my balance. And I just slipped a little bit. Just a little push, but that's the worst you'll get with channel lock. Most people would kill for that shot. Last shot. Come on, Jade. I'll have to revise that statement I made a while ago about the best shot that I've hit since I've been on channel lock. That was it. Every day it just gets better and better and better. That was a great shot. Okay, guys. Just a couple of things today, and that's what we're going to do. Just a few things, some intrinsic specific points.